Okay, so today I want to talk about hypertension, aka high blood pressure, aka whatever you want to call it, but it's a problem. So let's talk about it. Um, High blood pressure is basically just extra pressure, extra strain on your heart and your arteries. And you might be thinking, like, dang, like, how does that even happen? Um, I will tell you how that happens. So, some very common factors of blood pressure are one, I'm just going to say it, family history. You can't help where you come from. So, boom. If you do have a family that has a history of high blood pressure, it's very likely that you may unfortunately come across some high blood pressure. And if not now, then later on in life. So always just do keep that in mind. Genetics plays a very big role. Another factor, though, that we 100% can change, just saying, is our diet. So yes, a very unhealthy diet high in sodium, fat, cholesterol, all of that bad stuff is bad for our heart. So that's why, I try and say, just a healthier diet. Having high blood pressure, it could lead to so many other health complications like stroke, like heart disease, that you can die from heart disease, and even diabetes. So we wanna tackle our blood pressure before it leads to other problems in the future. Another thing that can lead to high blood pressure is something that we can't fix: age. So yes, as we get older, the likeliness of us to get high blood pressure is increased, just because, our heart's been working for a while as we've been living and doing all whatever we've been doing. So it's likely that we might have some plaque buildup in our arteries. As we get older, our arteries stiffen. Our heart is just getting a little older, so it might need to work a little bit harder to get that blood flowing in our body. And one last thing that I got for y'all for a factor of high blood pressure is, boom, our lifestyle. Now that can lead to anywhere from drinking every night, smoking, not working out, you name it. All of those three instances honestly can add to why you might have high blood pressure, or why somebody that you love or care about has high blood pressure. So the main thing I want to point out is working out. I'm not asking anybody to become a fitness guru, but I do want you to understand that moving your body does and can help with your blood pressure. It's actually proven to reduce your blood pressure to significant values. Now, you might be thinking, like, what can I eat? What can I do to reduce this blood pressure? A few things that you can do is, one, eat healthier. So yes, reduce that salt. Seasoning is like one of the main problems that I feel like a lot of people have when they're cooking, because they overdo it. There's no reason why my chicken was white and now it's orange, because I just over seasoned it. I started using more natural seasonings, honestly. I started cutting onions, using garlic, peppers is good. Just more natural, so I don't have to depend on the seasoning, which is adding more salt in general. I stopped cooking with salt completely because of the whole seasoning thing. I feel like salt is in everything nowadays. So I don't see the reason of adding more salt to a diet that is already salt filled. And also drinking water. Like, I can literally tell y'all how many times I hear just people not drinking water and then laughing about it, thinking it's cute. But I'm all about keeping it cute, and that is not cute. Let me tell you, nothing is cute about dehydration. It's important that we are hydrating our body, that we're getting water in our body. And I hear a lot that people don't like the taste of it. I don't know what kind of water that you guys drink, but the water that I drink is tasteless. So I just feel like I'm drinking nothing. But if you do want to spice it up a little bit, add some fruit. I like to add strawberries to mine, some mixed berries. Water is very important, not just for your heart health, but for your health in general. And then last thing is working out. Y'all already know, if you work out 30 minutes a day, that can make a difference in so many ways, but also a reduction in your blood pressure. So let's get to moving, people. Let's work on our heart health, because our heart is kind of what we need to live. So y'all know the guidelines for blood pressure. And just a few years ago, it was different. They done changed these guidelines because now 130 is way too high, apparently. But it's important to know these guidelines. So if y'all haven't already, check out that little poster for blood pressure, where it's included the guidelines. So where it's considered normal, it's considered kind of like pre-hypertension, and then where, boom, like, you classify as having high blood pressure. It's very important to know the guidelines, but it is also just as important, I'm going to say, to know your normal. So, for example, my blood pressure is considered low, I guess you can say, to your typical American. My blood pressure reads about like 100 on top and 60 diastolic on bottom. And like I said, that could be considered very low to somebody that's 120 over 80. And that's just my normal, though. My normal can be like barely making it for the next person, So it's really just important because, where I work, I was talking to a patient just the other day, and he was telling me his blood pressure, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of winced when he told me his blood pressure, because I was like, oh my gosh. But the EP in me knows that, okay, I know my guidelines, but also, like, what is your normal? And I asked him, I was like, is that your normal? And he was like, yeah, my blood pressure has always ran at that number. So I was like, oh, okay, well, if that is your normal, your doctors do know about it, and it's been recorded multiple times, then it still should be something that is tackled. So yes, there are medications, there are other things, healthier diet, working out, that you can do to help reduce your blood pressure. So it is very important to know your normal, just for many reasons. It's important to know your normal for a lot of things, even for your heart rate, even for your sugar levels. Now, because we all know what is considered to be good, what's considered to be normal, but we need to know your norm too. So people aren't so alarmed, also, and, just so you can cut the alertness and cut the, it's an emergency. So, like, just for example, like I said, my blood pressure typically reads at 100 over 60. Boom. If my blood pressure at rest is at like 120 over 80, you should be worried about me, because that's not my normal. And I did nothing different in the day, like nothing spectacular has changed. Like, all of a sudden it's just reading that now, and that's where you should be like, oh, alert. But if my blood pressure has been reading 100, like, just a solid 102, 104 over 60, if it's relatively within the same, then that is your normal, and you're A-okay. So please get checked up regularly, whether it's from your doctor or even freaking at Walmart or CVS. I know that they have those cuffs that you can just sit at, because I used to do them all the time, and I honestly still do it. Honestly, like, I don't know, I just sit down and I just put my arm in, because it's not hurting you. It can only benefit you having that extra knowledge to know, your blood pressure. So